We've got some exciting news for all you Marvel maniacs out there.
That's right. We're inviting you to join our exclusive Marvel Movie Minute membership program.
For just $5 a month or $55 a year, you'll gain access to a world of marvelous perks that will make you feel like you've been hit with a dose of super soldier serum.
As a member, not only will you get bad puns like that, you'll also get your own private podcast feed delivering early, ad-free episodes straight to your ears faster than Thor's hammer flying back to his hand.
And members also get access to periodic bonus episodes exclusively for our most dedicated fans. Consider it your own personal Jarvis for Marvel movie content.
Plus, you'll gain entry to our exclusive Discord community, where you can chat with other Marvel fanatics just like you. It's like you're assembling your very own team of Avengers.
Most importantly, by becoming a member, you'll be directly contributing to the show you love and helping us keep Marvel Movie Minute running strong. We value your support more than all the vibranium in Wakanda.
We can't thank you enough for being part of our journey through the MCU. You're the Pepper Potts to our Tony Stark, always there by our side.
You're the arc reactor to our Iron Man suit, the Heimdall to our Thor, the horny jokes to our Deadpool.
The gamma radiation to our Bruce Banner.
Well, maybe not that one.
I'm sorry.
So what are you waiting for? Don't be like Hawkeye, always getting left out of the action.
Head over to truestory.fm/join and become a member today.
Join us, and together we'll explore the Marvel Cinematic Universe like never before.
Step up to the streets and become the hero of your own story.
Excelsior, true believers. With your support, we'll make this membership program a smash hit. Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Do you like movies?
Do you like sports?
I never played that sport on the screen, but I really enjoyed how the movie made me feel.
Well then, have we got a show for you. The Adrian Moment is where my friend Ocean and I discuss the triangulation of sports, movies, and life.
We dive deep into the movies, discussing how they relate to and have affected our lives.
We will talk about why the sport matters to the movie, why you don't have to love the sport to enjoy the movie, and mine a few nuggets of meaning inside the story you may not have realized was really there.
After listening to our show, come join us for more conversations about the movies that portray the thrill of victory
and the agony of defeat.
Find the Adrian Moment podcast on your favorite podcast app and join us while we cover the sports you love and the ones you never think about.
You will never see sports or sport movies the same again.
Meet Zinnia.
You are being very polite to someone who is attempting to kill us.
Her wife Saffron.
You know I'm wildly, madly in love with you.
And their best friend Goldie.
Glad we didn't miss all the fun.
Swords in hand, they defend their city from the worst of humanity.
I am Lord Buxton Blue.
Equity Electric.
Herr Haig. Virgil Walcott. Vicious Swab.
Follow their adventures on the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society audio drama podcast. Available now at truestory.fm/swashbuckling.
Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, the podcast which we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 5-minute segments and then examine them in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Storywell podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And Kyle.
Yes, Rob.
The Statue of Liberty. It's a copper-clad statue that was a gift to the United States from the people of France. Merci, and dedicated on October 28th, 1886, Lady Liberty, named after the Roman deity Libertas, which means freedom. The statue's crown bears 7 spikes, symbolizing the 7 oceans and the 7 continents of the world, which emphasizes her message of welcome, inclusiveness, and freedom. At the time of recording, she wears a size 879 shoe. She has a 35-foot waistline. She is struck by lightning 600 times every year. And although it is unclear if small replicas of her have ever murdered anyone, but she was instrumental in fighting back the incursion of one Vigo the Carpathian on December 31st, 1989. Probably 89. We assume it was 89.
Yeah.
Not really ever said specifically, but thank you, Lady Liberty.
The love of our fans is lifting us higher and higher here at minute 91 of Iron Man 3 from 2013, directed by Shane Black, written by Shane Black and Drew Pearce. We're still in the interrogation of Trevor Slattery, Rhodey has just discovered that the Mandarin isn't quite the man he expected him to be, and now they're trying to figure out what their next move is. So they had asked what the plan was, and Trevor didn't know anything about these suits, but he did know. So we're picking up his answer is, what? No, but I do know it's happening off the coast. Something to do with a big boat. I can take you there. And so then as they're talking, then Rhodey's still got his gun on him. And then in the middle of his, as he's talking, he says, whoa, and then Allez, 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 Allez. Okay, so it turns out that he's watching a football game as he's being interrogated by the two heroes of the movie.
Great.
So this is an English Premier League match. This is a real match between Liverpool and Chelsea. The score is currently 3-0 in favor of Liverpool. This was a real match that had taken place during this time period, and so they put it in. What he's doing is a football chant. And so this is one of Liverpool's football chants. So he's a Liverpool supporter. So I have to change one of the words, but a dramatic reading of this is, we conquered all of Europe. We're never going to stop. From Paris down to Turkey, we've won the effing lot. Bob Paisley and Bill Shankly, the fields of Anfield Road. We are loyal supporters, and we come from Liverpool. It makes more sense when you actually have an accent. And then they say, Allez, 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 which is what he's doing his thing. So it's funny, the transcript we found, it says Olay, but no, he's saying Allez, A-L-L-E-Z, which is what the name of the chant is Allez, Allez, Allez. So then, Rory freaks out and almost shoots him because of this. And he says, Tony, I swear to God, I'm going to blow his face off. And then Trevor says, and this next bit may include the vice president as well. Is that important? And Rory's like, yeah, a little bit. So then they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So says, what are we going to do? We don't have any transport. And Tony says, right. And then as Trevor opens another beer, he says, hey, Ringo, didn't you say something about a lovely speedboat? And so that's Ringo obviously is a reference to the Beatles because he's from Liverpool and he's supporting Liverpool. Yada, yada, yada. So cut to an episode of Miami Vice.
Yes.
What I was alluding to before. So, it's like black guy and a white guy on a boat in Miami, trying to stop bad guys.
Great helicopter shot as the boat is going. Oh my God.
You can practically hear the Jan Hammer theme.
Totally. I can see Edward James Olmos in the background shaking his head. Like, come on, man. What are you guys doing?
They're cruising along the waterways in Hinckley Talaria 44, which is designed by Bruce King. And once again, if you want to talk about fandoms, boat fandom is a real thing because I found some forums where people were really getting in deep on this one. So I decided not to go that far deep, but that's what this boat is. So boat enthusiasts, I'm sure there are podcasts out there for you as well. So then we see that Tony and Rhodey are on the way. They're in this boat headed somewhere. And so Tony says he's right about the location. We're 20 minutes from where Pepper is. And Rhodey says, but we also have to figure out this vice president thing, right? This is right. And then and Tony then looks at something in his hand. He's like, oh, I wonder who I'm calling right now. Oh, it's the vice president. Like, okay, what a flex.
Come on.
I got his number. And it took me, I was trying to figure out, is this a phone? But then later on when you see it in Rhodey's hands, this is the radio on the boat, right? It's because it's not like a traditional phone because it has a connection to it too. So I think they're using the radio on the boat to somehow wire through to contact it because he's not using.
Wait, you're right.
He's not using the Altel.
Well, no. Wait, and I'm just. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
He's just being a bum to Rhodey, just being like, oh look, I was standing right here when they patched you through, you dummy.
Right, I know.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So then we cut to apparently the vice president's house where they're having their, because it is Christmas Eve. You can see a big party is going on, and there's Miguel Ferrer as vice president. He gets the phone from one of his guys and says, thanks, hello, and then sir, this is Tony Stark. Vice President says, welcome back to the land of the living.
Oh, that's nice.
And Tony says, we believe you're about to be drawn into the Mandarin campaign. We got to get you somewhere safe as soon as possible. And the Vice President says, Mr. Stark, I'm about to eat honey roast ham surrounded by the agency's finest. And that's where minute 91 comes to an end.
By the way, can I just say, we just heard that it may involve the vice president. I'm worried about him because I love this guy.
Right. So Tony's worried like they're going to try and assassinate the vice president.
And I love Miguel Ferrer. So I'm like, let's make sure we save him. Let's not. I don't want him to be brought into all of this stuff. So, okay. I'm going to go on a little emotional roller coaster.
That's right. So the VP says the president's safe on Air Force One with Colonel Rhodes. I think we're good here.
Good.
And then Rhodey says, sir, this is Colonel Rhodes.
Oh.
They're using the Iron Patriot as a Trojan horse. Well, once again, that's another 10. They're going to take out the president somehow. We have to immediately alert that plane. And the vice president definitively, like a true leader, says, okay, I'm on it. I'll have security lock it down. If need be, they can have F-22s in the air in 30 seconds. Thank you, Colonel.
Great.
And Rhodey says, Rotors and Stark out. And they hangs up. And then the Secret Service agent walks up and says, everything okay, sir? This is Wesley Thompson. He has 86 acting credits on IMDb. His big break was on the Incredible Hulk television show. He was on season 4, episode 16, entitled Half Nelson, which was about wrestlers.
Oh.
He was also on Cheers, a show that does not get mentioned enough, Simon and Simon.
Oh.
Another one we've talked about past, Heart to Heart.
Yes.
And Hill Street Blues.
Oh, my God.
So, man, he had a good time in the 80s. Like, he was all the high things. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the vice president, who now the Mandarin is coming after him, there's someone on board Air Force One. Like things are moving. A coup is happening. Like things are in danger. He says, couldn't be better. And just hands the phone quietly back to him.
You son of a bitch.
As he walks away, and we get to see he rejoins the party, and he goes and he kisses his daughter on the head. And we see that she is missing one of her legs.
Oh, now I feel bad. Can I say, I don't think I have ever seen in my life. And again, I don't know why I don't remember this for the first time.
Yeah.
The moment they mention, he says the vice president's involved, and you kind of just the way he says it, you go, that doesn't sound exactly right. He talks to them, pulls it off really convincing, like, okay, yeah, we're going to take care of this. Got it.
Yeah.
Sir, anything wrong? Nope. Oh, dude. And literally, I can't remember the last time I have had such a go from, oh no, like, okay, we're going to be fine. Oh no, we're screwed.
Yeah.
To, oh, but I see why.
Yeah, he's in on it, and then we see the motivation. So, Rob, would you say that the vice president's acting creepy, maybe kooky, maybe mysterious, maybe a little spooky? It could be because his daughter is played by Jenna Ortega.
Oh, what?
That is a young Jenna Ortega in the wheelchair. She has 49 credits on IMDb. This is her big screen debut, but she had already been on CSI NY and Rob. Do you remember the show Rob?
Rob? Yeah. With who was the top?
Rob was Rob Schneider's sitcom from 2012. It lasted 8 episodes.
I remember hearing that show because, again, namesake. Yeah, but also, wait, hold on.
Yes.
I did not realize this was her.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the actress who would go on to be Wednesday in the title of the Netflix series Wednesday,
and incredibly popular and the it girl of the time, and has done great stuff. Yes, and is a phenomenal actress, by the way. I mean, like, let's just right up front, like, absolutely.
So you better duck when I show up. The Goo Goo Muck. So we move on back to Air Force One. Do you have any information about Air Force One you'd like to share with us?
Okay, so Air Force One. This is one of the two. There are 2 aircraft in the U.S. military that are designated as use as Air Force One. It's not. It's only called Air Force One when the president's on it. These are 2 Boeing 747-200Bs. Tail numbers 28,000 and 29,000. which I forgot to look at which one it is, but we'll find out. Actually, you can't see the tail number in these shots. Most likely because it's not Air Force One.
Right.
It clearly is a fact. I think the main thing to notice is that the livery of this, which is the design of the plane, based during the John F. Kennedy administration, was a design made by a famous French designer who came up with the idea. It was French-born American industrial designer Raymond Lowry, who was the one who came up with this very great, it kind of looks retro today, but it is a great middle century design of the sweeping curves and the blues, and it is beautiful. It's classic. It has become synonymous.
And they've kept it too.
They've kept it. I believe they're still going to keep it. We'll see. But it's just an iconic image and really well done. Just love it. Love that it appears here.
Yeah. So we have the full presidential battalion is here. They have all the people lined up along the sides and the red carpet as the president is going. And as he gets to the gangplank, I think that's the correct term, or the ramp, then that's when Iron Patriot lands. But it's not Rhodey. They just don't know that. And then he walks up and the President Ellis says, Colonel Rhodes, and gives him a salute, and he gives salute back and doesn't say anything because obviously it's not Rhodey.
Now, at this point, do you, when you first saw the movie, did you think someone was in the suit, or did you think it was just the suit?
I didn't think. I thought there was someone in the suit, but I didn't think it was Savage.
Wow, interesting. Okay,
but I thought they do, because at this point we don't know that the suits can be, like, at least the Iron Patriot suit can be remote controlled.
Well, you've seen, obviously we saw the Iron Man suit remote controlled.
The Iron Man suit, sure, but this, once again, this is the Mark II Iron Man suit, which has just been altered. Like, this is still, I was actually really surprised that they did the caterpillar effect. I mean, it really.
I will say that I think this was a pretty decent misdirection in that you could have easily have thought, oh, there's no one in the suit.
Yeah.
And they're just going to put the suit on the plane and the suit's going to blow up or something.
Right. Yeah,
but then he said that he was going to have the president, so I mean, he doesn't want to blow it up.
Right.
But I could have seen either way. I mean, like, I think this was actually where you wouldn't really know who or if anyone was in the suit at this point in the story.
Yeah. And obviously everyone there is fooled. So,
yeah.
So then the president says, "Glad you could make it, son. I feel safer already." So that's where minute 92 comes to an end. And 93, then we're back on the boat. And Rhodey says, "We got to make a decision. We can either save the president or Pepper. We can't do both." And this is when Jarvis pipes up. And so before we get into that, I can also tell you that they had a long conversation about Jarvis during the commentary, and Shane Black is not a fan. Like, he does not like Jarvis because he said Jarvis talks too much. And he said that's one of the reasons why Jarvis gets disabled on this movie, because he feels like Jarvis fills every available thing with needless exposition. So that's why he sidelined Jarvis all the time. So that's why Jarvis is a lot less chatty in this movie than he has been in previous ones, because Shane Black was like, I don't need this guy yapping in my ear all the time. But here he is yapping in our ears. So Jarvis says, "Sir, I have an update from Malibu. The cranes have finally arrived and the cellar doors are being cleared as we speak." That's interesting, because that does answer something we earlier on, is that why didn't he bring the suits to him then, is because he couldn't. So that does address a point that from earlier on of why he couldn't, because the rubble had closed the hangar, like had fallen over the hangar where all the suits were stored. So they literally couldn't get out.
Oh, okay. Now I feel better. I feel better about it. Yeah, all right.
So past me, this is what you get for not doing homework far enough in advance. I don't know what that means. But essentially, so that there is a in continuity reason why.
Well, now here's the deal, though. Yeah. You could have, because that is an important plot point. I think they could have had a moment where you when he's saying this, they could have cut to a shot of one of the dummy or whatever, like, or moving the debris and stuff out.
Yeah, we will see that shot is coming, but it's a little further on. So then he says, "What about the suit I'm wearing?" And Jarvis says, "The armor is now at 92%. He still have hooked up to the Road Warrior battery." So I don't know if that was just was it an homage to a movie that they like, or was it just that'd be a good name for a battery company? I don't know.
It's not made by Roxanne or whatever, is it?
Roxanne? No.
Roxanne?
I don't think so.
No, I don't see that. Okay.
No. So Tony says that's going to have to do, and he yanks the cords out of it.
Where it is. He does it with authority.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then we cut back to the plane, and we have who's titled as Iron Patriot fan number 1. And he's excited because Iron Patriot is now walking around Air Force One as the plane has lifted off and is flying through the air. And he says, "Oh, here it comes, get a picture." So this is Chochukwu Anyachonke. I hope I got that right. I looked it up, and I was on an interview with him, and I tried to get it as best as possible. He's a very distinctive name. He has 45 acting credits on IMDb. He's a former Marine. He's a poet. He's a model. This guy is very much a multi-hyphenate. So unfortunately, he doesn't get a lot to do here because immediately then Iron Patriot shoves him into this door, closes it, and then interesting because at this point we see Savin can get into the suit, he can fly the suit, he can walk around with it, but he doesn't know how to use the weapons of the suit because he has to do all this stuff to get his hand out of the armor,
right,
in order to get to use his extremis abilities to melt the doorknob so that it is sealed shut.
So, okay, first of all, by the way, in the shot of the exterior shot of Air Force One, we do get to see the tail number. It is 29,000.
Okay.
So it is accurate. Okay. At this moment, when the hand is exposed in the suit, now you know someone's in the suit.
Right.
Do you still know, like...
I don't remember knowing, like, being like, oh, Savin's in there. Like,
yeah, no, like, I thought it could be killing, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you know there was somebody in there, yeah, that was it. So, Iron Patriot then walks in and sees there is a meeting going on in conference rooms of Air Force One. A military aide looks up and says, "Everything all right, Colonel?" And that's when Iron Patriot murders everyone.
And the first one...
he picks up a statue of the Statue of Liberty, like a little model thing, and throws it across the room and impales the dude right through the heart. Like, boom. And then
not cool.
And once again, he still can't work the weapon system, so he's just going around and just grabbing dudes and smashing them and getting their gun stuff too. And then eventually, as he's going, he figures out, he does a gesture, kind of like we saw early on with Pepper. He does a gesture, and then the hand fires, and it's like, oh, I can do this now. All right, cool. So then, as he's smashing dudes into tables and stuff too, then he blasts a guy into the cabinet.
This is a close combat scenario. It's actually kind of, I mean, it's got some cool parts of it. May I make
the not looking and firing thing?
Oh yeah, no, there's that. And then when he does it with the guys inside the cabinet, the guy who gets killed by the Statue of Liberty, I want to think that his character's name is Patrick Henry. So that when he says, "Give me liberty or give me death,"
yeah.
How about both? Wow. I'm sorry for that.
He regrets that he has but one life to give.
Oh, boy. Okay.
It was also a nice thing is that you see that the Secret Service agent has got the president, and they're under the president's desk, and he has the president. He's covering the president with his body, which is like, that's pure Secret Service right there. Like, that's what their job is. But it doesn't matter because Iron Patriot picks up the desk and the guy at the same time and yanks them both through the air, pulling out there. And then the president, then I say, give points to President Ellis. He tried. Like, he goes scrambling over to try and get the gun, even though it's not going to do anything. Like,
because he's not Harrison Ford. Come on. Come on.
We were having this conversation about, like, the fact that we're this far into the MCU. People are still just using regular pistols. Like, there are thunder gods and giant flames, and they're still just like pew 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 pew. Even why is the Black Widow carrying a pistol in the Avengers? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the president, it doesn't do anything. So Iron Patriot grabs the president, puts him up against the wall, and then pops the helmet, and it turns out it's Savin. This is when we actually know.
Did you know immediately? I got to be honest. His nose is a bit messed up.
Yes, and
this
also
isn't a great effect.
This isn't a great effect. The CG around the helmet is. I wonder if this was they decided to do something different because like it's really fuzzy around.
Oh, and the shadow's too consistent. It's actually too regular. It's too consistent. Yeah. You know what blows me away?
What?
This is about as good, and I'm not dissing the CGI artists here because I realize
honestly, I just read the chapter in the MCU book about this stuff, and it was difficult then, and it's even more difficult to be a digital artist now because of the insane deadlines that they put on. Plus the fact that apparently directors will just change stuff on a whim for any.
No,
I worked 6 months on this sequence. Like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, well now we got to do something else. here's how you know it's hard. It's still hard. Gwyneth Paltrow at the end of Endgame doesn't look much better. When she pops down and her visor goes up in the rescue suit, she doesn't look much better than this shot right here. So it's hard. That intersection between the real actor and the suit, Savin then says, "It's an honor, Mr. President," which, he is a terrorist at this point. Like now, Rob, we have official terrorism. Like before, it was implied terrorism. Now we went to full on terrorism. Yes. But he was a soldier. Like Savin was a soldier that served. Hopefully proudly. So maybe he's being sincere in this moment. Like he really is meeting the commander in chief. The President Ellis then says, "If you're going to do it, do it." Ooh. Abbott says, "Whoa, cool your boots, sir. That's not how the Mandarin works." Oh, what could that be? So we cut to a control office, a sit rep, something, some kind of thing. We have it's credited as Navy Op. And this, he says, "Sir, Air Force One has been compromised. Internal shots, temperature spikes," which is interesting. Like they're actually monitoring that stuff, so they know right away that something's gone terribly wrong. This is another one of those kind of like we had with Rebecca Mader. This is actually this guy went on. Still has a really good career. This is Corey Hawkins. He has 26 credits on IMDb. His first big break was on Royal Pains on USA. Remember all the USA Network shows, Rob? Yes.
Welcome.
Oh my God.
That was his first big break. He played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton. He also was in Kong Skull Island, and he is also a renowned singer. He was both in The Heights movie and the Color Purple musical movie.
Oh, wow. Great.
I think a lot of people, because he was the lead in 24 Legacy. So it's interesting that like back to back, there are two prominent actors who have been on 24. So the commander says, "Get me eyes on it now." So the commander is Lyndon Ashby. He's 97 credits on IMDb. His career seems to be wrapped around wolves because he was on the Werewolf show on Fox. You remember Werewolf? It was one of the first Fox shows. Like Fox launched and only had like 2 hours of programming every night. Like when it was a brand new network, they had a television called Werewolf, where the lead character, it would put a bloody pentagram would form on his head when he was about to transform into a werewolf. It was like trying to be like the Incredible Hulk, but he was a werewolf. It's one of those shows
that's been lost to time.
But later on, he would go on to be on Teen Wolf, the remake that they did on MTV, the sort of the more WB sort of style of teen drama, but also werewolves. He was in the Wyatt Earp movie with Kevin Costner, and he is most known to fans. This is his geek cred, is Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that's why he looks familiar.
Yeah, you look at the face. Okay. Oh my God, that's Johnny Cage. And when I think about that now, the original Mortal Kombat movie. But he has come back and done like voiceover stuff for Johnny Cage whenever they bring him back in the Mortal Kombat video games and stuff too. So
nice.
We go back to the Navy Op / Corey, who says, "Image coming through now, sir." We see then the Iron Patriot armors. They go, "Was that?" And you see the Iron Patriot armor leaves, like it's flying away from Air Force One as they finally get there. And he says, "Was that Rhodes?" So the Iron Patriot now has left.
Okay. That's wild. A really cool zoom in of the satellite effect. It's actually a nice effect. Okay, where did he exit the plane from in mid-flight?
That's a good question, because when next we see the plane, everying seems to be intact.
The oxygen masks are down.
Yeah.
But going out of first of all, if you're going through one of the exit doors, which should not be able to be opened in mid-flight at full cruising altitude, if he had blown his way out, that would be problematic.
Yeah. And there should be alarms going off.
But stuff flying around. And the plane would have a problem too. But I don't understand that.
Yeah. And also through all this stuff, it seems like the pilots are just like going about their business.
Oh, yeah.
The plane has not diverted at all. They don't seem to have done anything to have. There seems to be no indication that in the cockpit knows that anything has gone wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then as we cut back to Savin. So the Iron Patriot armor is gone, but Savin is still there. It looks like he's wearing a captain's hat. So maybe he's killed the people in the cockpit and there's an autopilot. It's unclear, but he's walking around in a captain's hat and a parachute and holding some sort of device in his hand. So we hear people, try, like from where he's letting for us. There, let us out.
Oh, by the way, I like a little note on that. It's cool to see that they did put the melted door handle on that door. Yeah. So that comes back to the geography of the scene and of the action sequence.
So Savin seems to be just here waiting for something. So he's just sort of strolling around Air Force One, sort of getting the lay of the land. And he thinks he sees something out the window and looks out. And that's when a metal hand breaks through one of the windows and fires a repulsor and knocks him down.
What?
So Tony then is so like the Tony flies up there. We'll get the sort of a little bit of trickery going on here. Flies up there, sees where Savin is. We using Iron Man senses, whatever, like scans the plane and sees what it is, and then flies ahead of him so he could break through the window ahead of where Savin's standing and use his hand to blast him to knock him down.
Dude,
it's clever, but it's a little showy, like especially when the president's in danger. You're like, ha, take this.
Okay, and it also makes no sense. And again, I'm not trying to everything doesn't have to make sense, but it is completely outrageous. Like, it's outrageous, the logistics of this.
And then, boom, he's in the room. Like
yes.
And then
he's behind you.
Yeah, right. There he is. And so then he runs up and grabs Savin and says, "The president now." Savin says, "He's not here." And so then, once again, like, these are our heroes. They're supposed to be like better at this kind of stuff. And then Savin grabs his arm, heats it up, and then immediately Iron Man starts crumbling. Like, oh,
I mean, seriously.
Like, what? You just heated up your arm slightly. What is this about?
No,
it was bad enough when the Iron Patriot armor got taken down that fast.
This is he's wearing a compromised suit. He already knows that. And he's already had an experience with these guys. He knows what this does. This doesn't. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I don't either. I get that we're supposed to there's supposed to be the underdog effect and stuff too. But like at some point, like you gotta let a superhero be a superhero, right?
Well, but it doesn't make any sense. Well, and and it gets worse.
Yeah. So Savin says he's not here. Try the jet stream, which is like that's the first time we're like, oh, did he throw the president out of the plane? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not actually what he means. And he says, speaking of which, go fish. And I like this line reading too. And he presses whatever he's holding in his hand. And that's when the back of the plane blows out. So
one of the access doors. Right.
Yeah, blows out. And then we see people being sucked out of the plane. They're flying out. They're being pulled out and they're trying desperately to hold on. There's a lot of good. This is actually pretty good effects work too. I mean, like, there's real stunt people that I'm sure were just being yanked out by cables and stuff too. But it actually looks pretty good. And this is why Iron Man 3 will never be shown on a plane because you're not allowed to show like the plane crash stuff with any films that are shown on planes. So it's one of those little things, but also is a lost piece of revenue. So a lot of times the studio won't eliminate sequences where planes are there because they make money when
they're licensed for airline. Yeah, totally.
And that's why you never see Fight Club on a plane. No, that's not.
There's other reasons.
So they go screaming there, and so that's when they're and Savin is sort of like and he's sort of really cocky about this, sort of like like I really got you now. Like there's people like what are you gonna do? And that's when Tony uses the Unibeam, which we have not really seen a lot in Iron Man 3, and blasts Savin through the chest. And they cut away to show it blasting through the walls behind him and stuff too. And cut back, you can see that they don't actually show the hole, but essentially you can see Seven is there. And there's an interesting sound effect that I don't really remember hearing before with Extremis. You can kind of hear there's like a pumping, sizzling sort of sound, and then it slows down as Seven dies. And then Tony says, "Walk away from that, you son of a bee."
Oh, I said that earlier. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then he has a whole new problem on his hands. But okay, so let's break this down then before we.
And is that where it ends? That's
where the movie ends. So it's people flying out of the plane.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Okay.
Now Tony will have to deal with that. So we'll deal with that in the next bit. So that's a picture wrap on James Badge Dale. So thank you, Savin.
Thank you, Savin. Happy, I'm sure, is happy, but his heart. So what's the rules here?
Okay, I guess that was what Tony thought. Is maybe massive damage will do it. So he
blowing out your heart.
Blowing out your heart. Yeah, essentially that stops it, so your body won't regenerate from that. He's hoping. So I mean that's fine. So okay. And that's fine. That now we've seen if you do enough damage to an Extremis soldier, they're not like Wolverine, where
sure,
or even Cell from Dragon Ball Z. There is a limit to how much Extremis will rebuild you. Okay, so what was the plan? So obviously the Killian's plan is we're gonna kidnap Rhodey, get him out of the suit, put Savin in the suit, fly the suit to Air Force One, get onto the plane, kill whoever you need to. It doesn't really matter. Don't kill the president. Trap him in the suit, and then we're going to remote control the suit to fly it to us for, what's the back half of this movie for Act 3. And then Savin is supposed to stay on the plane. Why? At this point, does he know that Tony is coming? Because when Savin, I know there's radio communication and
sure.
Do they at that point when Savin leaves, when Savin flies away, Tony is captured, has no suit. Rhodey is knocked unconscious. Pepper is captive. Does Savin know that Tony is coming? I guess this is a question. There's not really an answer, but this is what I'm posing to you. So. Because he doesn't trigger the thing until Tony shows up. So he's there as a contingency plan in case Tony shows up. Because he intended to live. He's wearing he's wearing a parachute. So Savin intended to be there for the final act.
Okay, so here's what I don't know. Well, let me tell you this. I don't know.
We don't know. Well, of course we don't.
I don't know because
the plan was distract Tony and escape. Right?
If you knew Tony was coming.
Right.
I'm going to say this. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
However, other than this, my job is to get on the plane, get the president in the suit so it can get to Killian.
Yes.
My job now, because at some point he placed charges on the one exit of the plane to cause an in-flight emergency that would either cause the crash of the plane or the idea that they're dead. I don't know.
My inference was that's why he sealed the people in that room, is to set that up. But we never see him putting down any explosives, which I know there's a lot that in these last couple minutes. There's a lot of we're intentionally not going to tell you things and then pay off things we never set up.
Yeah, I don't think any of this gets paid off.
Going back to the last episode with the watch, they never set up the watch. We didn't know that there was a timer thing going that. So then the watch goes off and Tony knows what it means, but we don't. And that keeps happening in this thing is where they're going, ha. And it's yeah, but you're just giving me punchlines. You're not giving me setups.
I'm telling you that I still believe in all the movies we've ever talked about with this. There are sometimes ideas that don't have setups. Mm-hmm. And when you're around the table, well, we want this to happen. Okay, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Or hey, we got to get from A to G.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, B, C, D. I mean, let's just do D.
This movie especially is really frustrating.
Yes.
In that aspect, because there are so many times where they over-explain that it's like, why did you decide this needed to be reiterated several times where all this other stuff you decided not to talk about at all and to do it just for the surprise? There's a lot of, I guess I feel, unnecessary surprises.
Right.
Where it's as opposed to like, hey, that's weird. I wonder why he's setting down those boxes in this part of Air Force One. Maybe that'll come back later. And then boom, oh, it turns out those were bombs. It's just like, we just never show you the stuff before. It just happened. You just didn't know about it.
Well, and I think that's
a couple of times, but after a while, it just becomes like, okay, then I guess we just don't get to know anything.
And that's the problem here. And you can wrap it up with, well, I don't know why. Well, first of all, again, I have no reason to believe that Savin's actually dead from this. Because I don't, even though, yes, right.
Yeah. But I mean, it becomes pretty definitive in the next minute.
No, well, especially when you just showed the scene of a person who's missing a limb. So the implication is
we've seen a limb grow back. I mean, I don't have Savin come back from stuff. We literally saw a limb grow back.
But then obviously, what's the setup to this? And that is he blowing the door? Like here's the thing we'll talk about in the next episode.
Yes.
What's the purpose of blowing the door?
That was my thought is like to essentially if a lot of ifs, if Tony was coming in, if Iron Man shows up, then he can immediately just fly out to the Iron Patriot armor and grab it and bring it back, and their whole plan is ruined. So
right.
The plan is distract Tony Stark. And so the Savage job is wait till Tony shows up and then put in danger. And because he's a hero, he will go to save them and not go to rescue the president. So that part, it makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. Still seems like a really complicated way to get there.
Go fish. That's what his thing is. Like, because he could have done that at any point.
Right.
And he didn't. He waited until Tony was right there and then blasted.
But he still has to know that Tony's going to make it to the plane.
Yes, see, that's my thing.
He has to know that he's going to miraculously get inside the plane after somebody miraculously left the plane.
Yes.
And the plane's still a plane.
Yes. Yeah. I'm all for improvising, but it seems like this is supposed to be the master plan. And it's like, yeah, but who did? Why did? Yeah.
No. Banter and music. It's banter and music.
Banter music, and cool armor stuff. So,
oh, well, yeah, sure.
But while you're in between binging episodes of Wednesday on Netflix, maybe instead of giving the increasing price that Netflix keep going, they keep raising the price every couple of things. They keep adding it on, and like, where's Stranger Things? Come on,
let's go.
So maybe send $5 our way. Like we can't give you that type of level stuff, but we can give you stuff that no one else can, because who would spend this much time talking about Iron Man 3 just for your enjoyment. And it's not just us. There's lots of other amazing shows that you can find on our things, and you can get them early, you can get them ad-free, and you can even get and talk to the people who make those shows, because we only make them because people listen to them. And we have the numbers that show that you are out there.
We're so happy. We're so grateful. Are you not having fun?
Are you not entertained?
I am.
I sure am. So be back here as we get into the barrel of monkeys. You don't want to miss it. We'll be here. Don't miss it. Enough said.
Bye.